Hi all, it's Kylie from Kylie's Card Craft. Thanks for joining me again today. That was a funny way of saying it. It's collage time again. The month has rolled around again and we're back into our collage challenge. This is June, of course. So if you're playing along, don't forget hashtag 2022 collage challenge June. Right, you ready for this one? Oh, she's a doozy. Age, period, style. It's retro. Easy. Anything from the 50s to the 90s. Yeah, that's easy. I've got lots of old magazines and things like that from the 50s and the 60s, so not a problem. Theme, autumn, fall. Oranges, brown tones, forests, leaves, etc., which cut out the 80s, really, didn't it? So that's why we've gone back. Colour, purple or lilac. Doesn't matter how many times I think of it, I cannot put these together. I just can't do it. If you can, kudos to you. Very impressive, but the more I look at it, the more blah I get. So can't do that, so I'm going to use my swap bonus. Right, paper, ledger, receipt, invoice, form or brochure. That's me, not a problem. Image or focal, place, building, architecture, door or window, tick. Marks, splashes, random paint marks or gesso, all over it. Shapes, asterisks or stars. Do you think I've got a stamp with an asterisk on it? I could draw them, but I thought, so I've just gone and grabbed a star stamp that I have. Swap or bonus is handwriting, letter or postcard. So, here we go. It is not quite 20 past 4. Let's see how we go. Right, so my book again is last month's. So I'm really enjoying the colour scheme. So this, of course, was done in the oranges, which was our winter theme. So I want to go more into the browns this time for my autumn fall. Show you what I've got put aside, apart from all my paintbrushes. Right, I had some scrapbooking paper that I managed to find that had this wonderful range on it. So I've pre-cut those out. Whether I use both of them or not, I'm not quite certain. So, and she's fairly toned, and if I'm using my browns and things like that, look at this. I've got some greenery in there. I have, of course, my invoices, which are these ones, 2 of those, out of a 1962 Australian Woman's Weekly magazine. I had that pattern. How awesome is she? She covers it all. So she's retro because she's 1962. She's in her fall colours or her autumn colours. She's in front of a building and there's foliage. Booyah. I'm thinking she might just work for everything. I'm so impressed. I was looking for these when I came across this magazine. I'm so impressed. So I also have some handwriting on this invoice, which is part of one that I hadn't used. And when I was cutting out my bits and bobs before my ladies, and I was cutting this one out beside her, it had, and I dreamed my whole house was clean. I have to find a way of putting that in there. I'm sorry, I just have to do it. So I've got watercolour paints beside me. I've got some gesso beside me. Let's do it. So first things first, I will do my standard inking around my edges. I may then cover them up with paints and gesso, but I just want to put these in to start with to get rid of my original book paper, and then we can go from there. So once I've got that sitting there, and I can play around with my colours, give some darker, some lighter. I didn't pull out any other colour inks because I want to use the watercolour ones in there. So I'm just going to pop these down. I'm just using brushed corduroy. Probably should have something under that, shouldn't I? So there's a scrap. I'm just using brushed corduroy just to go around my edges, just to keep it in those browns instead of the cream that it is at the moment. And back onto this side, like So, doesn't take long to go around my edges with those, because I'm just doing really big swirls with my blending foam. So you can see I'm doing it nice and patchy. That's me, I'm patchy. Right. So I've got that as my base now. Probably should have done that before we started. I'm in my mind has strange minds. I want these on both sides, I'm thinking, because I always do the double page. Now, these were real invoices that I've purchased, and then I just keep copying them out and pre-using them because I love them all the time. So, but I want a little bit of oomph in that. I want to make them look a little bit older. You know, I like to do mine so that they look a little bit older, especially when I've copied them or I've purchased new ones, digitals. When you print them out, they're not that old looking, are they? So what I'm doing is just giving that a few crumples, and I'm just going to very lightly run over that with the ink that was left on there in that brushed corduroy. I might run back over it with some gathered twigs. I was just looking to see what I had there. It's usually either walnut stone or gathered twigs. Just depends on what I've run out of at the time. Just to give it some edges, and then I can stick it in a little bit crumply as well. So I'm just going to go down. I don't mind if I tear my edges, but I just want it to look as though, and I'm going to actually tear that bit off because it's got a white section. Like so. It can be torn out like that. And I'm roughing that up and going in towards it this time. Alright. So now you can see the difference. So I'll do the same with this one. So I've gone one way, then I'll go the other way and just give them some crumples. It's been in someone's pocket, you know, it could have been anywhere. And I'm just very lightly rolling over the top at this stage. Now I'm just going to rough up my edges. Not going to be the same. You'll never get them the same anyway. It's just, you know, Murphy's Law. You will never ever get the same because you might have a little bit more ink on one at one stage, a little bit less at another time. Right, so I've got my two. So I've got a little bit of ink on that. So what I've done is just picked up my gathered twigs blender that sits in front of me and just given a little bit extra so that it's really picking up those folds, and you can see the crease marks. Right. So let's have a look. Don't know whether I want them straight, whether I want them crooked, or how I want them. I'm just going to play around at this stage. So I do want that. I do love her, but because she's cut there, she's going to have to go down in this section down here. I love my lady. She just covers everything, doesn't she? So I don't need all of that in there. I've got this lady. And I've got those. Right, so I need... And I've just pulled it all off. I'm just going to grab some browns and they come out. Come on. Never fails. If I wasn't doing filming, it wouldn't be a problem. But there you go. Well, that was interesting. There we go. No. I reckon I've left the lid off that too long at some stage. Just like, we're going to look for the lid now. What did I do with it? Sit you about. I'm just going to do some bits just underneath. I know what I'm doing, and it's just, and I know it's in my head. All right. Let's see how this one's going. I've just grabbed another colour. I don't know if you can see me on it. Yes, you can. Look at that. What have I done with all these? I'm sure I've got some paper towel sitting here somewhere for when I get into a really big mess. There we go. Ooh, what a mess, Kylie. Till I look after my paints. That's really dark, that one, but that's all right. Yuck. All right. Oh yeah, that's dark. It's all right, there is a method to my madness. I'm gonna need more. Oh, there must be something wrong with that paint. I think it stinks. Burnt umber, was that what I was just using? Yeah, it was. Ah, man. All right, let's get back into this one. And I'll chuck a little bit of white in there. Don't know why, because I've got my gesso sitting there. And I'll chuck a little bit of orange to mix in with that white. Haven't even see. It's not a colour that I would use. Hang on a moment, just grabbing another toothpick. I always use toothpicks as my mixers. Ah, Lord. Okay, come on. It's going to go all over me, isn't it? Alright, I'm just going to put a little bit of that orange. Oh, it's looking pink, I suppose, now. Don't want pink. Oh, yucko, Kylie. It'll do. It'll do. Doing really well with those. They were a cheap set. We'll just leave it at that. Yeah, I like that colour better. That's my brown that I want. I really want that bright, dry brush look though. That's what I'm trying to achieve with that, which is why I'm going in circles just to, and this is my old dodgy brush. Get a little bit of that brown. Just to give some colour splashes behind everything. Ew. And then I can just use bits of my invoices and go from there. I know this is too big, but I need to pick up some of that orange. That's not going to work, is it? I don't have to use that orange. That's horrid, that orange. What if I mix it with the yellow? Doesn't that look atrocious? All right. Just, you know, sing amongst yourselves, grab a coffee, and we'll see what we come out with. That brown's way, that dark is just a bit too dark, but... See, I like that. I'll pick up some of that. Yeah, I really like those swirls around the edges. So, that's what I'm going to attempt to do. Get rid of some. Right. Swirl around my edges. Right. So, let's... Ochre yellow is more her colour, isn't it? So, and I was going to say, and that won't even been used. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah, I wore a light coloured top today. Don't think I like these paints. All right, mix that properly. But I like the colour. So, now get rid of that liquid. I want paint out. Right. So my problem with this is that I'm going to have to wait for it to dry, aren't I? Ah, that's a shocker. There we go. A little bit too much. We'll cover it. See, all I'm doing now is having kindergarten fun. Right. So there are my autumn colours. Winner. We'll get rid of all that mess. Before I put anything in, I'm just going to move it way over to the side so that right. Because I can just see me. Oh my Lord. Right. So it's actually drying fairly quickly. This side, of course, is just about dry. That side I kind of went a little bit mental with. But it is all the same colourings as her now, isn't it? I want a little bit of that down there. So now after all my work down there, I've now torn that bit. So there's my invoice. That one's her. Do I want her as a full bit or do I want to tear her a little bit? I want a splash down there. Where's my other lady? Oh, sorry. Hang on, I'll grab a drink. Sorry. Right. See, that's my handwriting that I want to pop in instead of my purple or lilac. She covers everything else. I don't like this. It's not bright enough for me or something like that. There's just... I don't know. I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. That's just... I'm just thinking, thinking. I want more layers. And I dreamed my whole house was clean. Let's have a look. Right, so I'm still playing around. This needs something. So, just hang on a moment. What if I just stamp that a couple of times on that scrap, and we'll see how we go. I'm just getting a stamping mat out. Do we want to go greens to bring in those greens, or do I want to go browns? So they're all still my autumn colours. I think of greens. Think of those. If I put in more browns, I'm thinking really more of my vintage. So let's have a look. Black pine cone grey, Shady Lane. Sorry, I just hit my light. So Shady Lane in the VersaFine. We'll have a look, will we? Not a bad colour with it. Let's see how that goes. Scissors, are you dry? Just about. I like this stamp because it actually looks like it's a paint one, because it's got that thicker edge. It nearly looks like it's been done. You know when you stamp something with a really fine ink, you get your nice fine lines. If you use acrylic paints to put on your stamp before, so that when you stamp it you've used acrylic paints instead of inks, you'll usually get a fatter version because the paints will sit differently on your stamp. So that's what this star reminds me of. So technically that's my star, isn't it? What's the time? I've been 20 minutes, so another 10. If I can work it out, it's not going to take me long to actually stick it down. Hopefully. It's just making my mind up. Oh, alright. So, with very little, you know how you... well, I don't know whether you do or not. I do. I think I'm going to do one of these collages, and I'll get out some bits and bobs first of all. Yes, and I think I've got oodles sitting there until you go to use it. When you go to do it, no you don't. I've usually got very little. Now, when I was cutting her out on the barcode strip, I did find they had wording going across the bottom. And I just loved the saying. It was a bit like this. Just a little piece that I put aside. There it is. I am who I am. That is my saying for life. It is my mantra. Once I learnt that earlier on in my life, I was fine. So I am what I am. It is just me. And I think that's what she needs. I am who I am. Right. I love that page. This page is still a little bit my gesso. Do I mix a little bit of, really, that's my brown paint anyway. Don't have my star stencil here because I've packed it because I'm doing a scrapbooking class tomorrow. So, should have thought of that one prior, shouldn't I? That's already packed in the car for tomorrow. So, if I use... I am thinking... I want to splatter some paint across, but just that one. So, paint, ink, I can splatter, can't I? Marks, splashes, random paint marks or gesso. So I've got my random paint marks, but I would like some splashes going up there. So let's just do that with our inks, shall we? And they'll have to be brown ones, because I didn't pull out my others. Ah! Hold that thought. Sitting in front of me, I have my wild honey. I have spiced marmalade, dried marigold, scattered straw, too light, way too light, wild honey. I can splash that one up there if I water it down enough, can't I? In which case I will need a smaller brush. Use that one. Flick it. And it'll go everywhere. So, what we might do, move this over, take her off, mix up some of this. Mix it first. Ooh. And I'll just tip it on that, because this is what I normally do. I'm going to mix a little bit of water in with it, which is just my water sprayer. Get it nice and smushy. I don't know if you can see me doing that. Yes, you can. Beautiful. Alright, that's why I love my Timmy mat. Oh yeah, that's nice and... Look at that. And that's good colour. That's actually a really good colour. Probably way too much than I needed. And my standard, oh, I should get splatter box, shouldn't I? Sorry, I just watched it head off over there. My ink pads that I have sitting up here all the time, I'll show you the lid of my... Can you see all the browns and all the bits there? I'm not a good I love splattering, but I'm not a can put them in the right place splatter. I tend to go everywhere. Right. Oh, I'm just gonna I should have baby wipe here somewhere just to sit that in case I want to pull it back out again. Oh. Right. Set that there, and then I can set my brush on there and it's keeping nice and wet. I like that. Oh, look, she got some of her on her. Not much, though. Got that. Do the lid up on that one, Kylie. And she's then going to go in there. What else does it need? Oh, hold the fort. In my backgrounds, in stamps again, I've got, where are they? Do I or do I not? Nope. I've got, sitting here somewhere, in amongst my big, look. I thought I had two of them. I do. Long one and a short one. They're darkroom door stamps, but they're like paint marks. So, now that I've splattered that and you're drying beautifully, I'm just playing and sit that in that water mixture. The paints won't hurt your stamp, so I'm just evening it out a little bit so it's not quite so full. Do I want a block for it? No, I just want random. Yeah, like that. Random on plain paper, on flat paper, makes a lot more sense. Random on a book doesn't work anywhere near as well. Just putting that out there. Yeah, baby. Right. What was my little one like? Let's go that side. Sorry, gone quiet again, haven't I? Yeah. I like that. She's going to cover that, so we better go there. Like so. Right. Now we'll dry all those bits. Wash those out later on. Sit you there. Sit you there. Right, so this one technically can be adhered down. So if I'm going to stick that bit there, that one's going to come over to that. She's in next. That's my first bit, isn't it? Right, can I move that up? Not that I've got much room to stick down now, have I? Yuck. Okay. Right. About there. But I don't want to push it down too hard, which is why I've done it with this glue as well, so that it's still got those ripples and bumps in it, so that the full thing is not nicely flat on there. That's just a me thing. This one, of course, can. Up and over here, love. Where's my little doobie? Oh. Right. Lilac one will go on top of that, but up like that. 3 different layers. Well, that's nearly empty. We better go back to this one for a while. Ooh. Tell you, I'm going through glue sticks these days so quickly. I'm sure it's not me. I'm sure the glue sticks are smaller. I'd like to say that, even though I keep buying bigger and bigger glue sticks. Right. Up there like that. And madam down here. So you can tell she was scrapbook paper because she's on double-sided paper. So she's a little bit thicker than your magazine paper and all the rest, but in all honesty, I don't mind. I don't really mind whether it's double-sided, single-sided. when I'm looking for little pieces like this, it's wherever I find them, not necessarily the paper that they're on. Right, I want just brown that up. I'm just gonna put paint everywhere again, okay? And that'll go in there, and now of course I have to wait for it to dry, don't I? But I daren't do it while it was on there. So, oh, I had a little star. So, right, where do I want that star? Where do I want tweezers? Alright, so this side, let's see if anything has dried. No. It is very cold here at the moment. Very cold. I've got a real chilly blast coming through. So I'm assuming you can hear my heater turning on every 5 seconds. Because once it goes off, it's on thermostat. Once it goes off, it doesn't take long for the house to chill back down again. Right, we're going to do this stupidly like this. Yes, I know, I could put the heat gun on it, but where's the fun in that? We'll do it this way. We'll do it this way. Good thing we're not trying to use a glue stick again. Alright. Right. Alright. Be interesting to see what everybody else's thoughts are on how they've come up with the prompts for this month. I'm really looking forward to that again. Right about there, wasn't it? That'll do. As I said before, if you're playing along, please play along. Please post it up, Instagram, etc., YouTube, and don't forget to put the hashtag 2022 collage challenge June. Couldn't remember what month it was. It is only the start of the month. It is like the 1st of June today. Haven't got past February, really, I don't think, in my mind yet. All right, sit there. Might have to stick you down further later on. And, of course, this is co-hosted by Leigh from Leigh's Art Studio and Julie from Art and Junk Journals with Julie. I will have description to their YouTube sites. I'll have the link in my description box. Yeah, say it properly. I'll have the link to their YouTube channels in my description box. Go in. They have playlists up of everybody's challenges, which is just awesome to see everybody's thought process in the same prompts. It's just awesome to see how everybody does different and how everyone's thought processes are different with exactly the same prompts, the same colours, etc. And we all come up with different things. And I'm assuming you will too if you're playing along. So please play along. We've only got one more month left, which is July's. So this is the penultimate challenge. And yeah, so hurry up and play along if you're going to play along. You can always jump in later and do them. But yeah, it'd be nice to do them while they're all still fresh in our minds. And we're all looking out for each other's, to watch each other's videos, etc. So please play along. Please jump on to either Leigh or Julie's YouTube channels. So Leigh's Art Studio and Art and Junk Journals with Julie. Ugh. So it's after work this afternoon. I'm doing this live now, and then I will post it straight away. So the brain's just a little bit addled. How's that? I'm quite happy with that. I'm actually quite happy with that. Right, let's go through our bits and bobs. So, age, period, style, retro, from the 50s to the 90s. Got that? Theme, autumn or fall. Yes, well, she kind of covers that. So, oranges, brown tones, forest leaves, etc. Colour, purple or lilac. I can't do it, sorry. Paper, ledger, receipt, invoice, form or brochure. So I've got receipts in there. Image or focal is a place or a building. There she is directly behind her. Architecture, door or window. Marks, splashes, random paint marks or gesso. So I've got splatters, splashes and paint. Shapes, asterisks or stars. Got a couple of stars. I've got 2. I need to put another star on there. Swap or bonus was handwriting, letter or postcard. And because I didn't do my colour purple or lilac, I've popped the handwriting in, which is on this invoice. So I need to do another star, which means that I need to find a little bit more of that paper, don't I? Promise me. I promise you I will do another one of those stars. Let's have a look. We might even put it on. I'm just putting the lid back on that. I got a little bit of this up there. So if I move you there and put another one of those stars in the green again. Yep. So just one of those there. Cut that out. On there. I've never been a must have odd numbers, but oh, look at that. That is now 5 o'clock. So my 30-minute video has ended up being a 40-minute video, sorry. We will, because it was 20 past, wasn't it, when we started. Alright, so I'll stick this on and then we're all done. Where am I going to stick it on? There. Right. And that paint is all still very, very wet. So what I'll do is I'll wait for it to dry. I'll get some glue out of that first. Ah, dearie me. Nope, no glue. Yep. Alright, I'll clean up while that dries, and then I'll take a photo and then I'll upload it. So, and then sit back and wait and watch everybody else's come through, because I love this first week of the month when they're all starting to come through. So there we go, guys. I hope you've enjoyed that. Can we see that? I'm just moving my chair out of the way. Let's have a look. Is it in? Just about. Just about. All right. So that's, I'm happy with that one. Well, won't worry about that little bit of a mess there. There's my June challenge. So hashtag 2022 collage challenge June. Hope you've enjoyed it. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. We've only got one more to go. Might be a bit lost. All right, guys. Thanks for that. Till next time. Happy crafting. Bye.